Hi guys, it's Di from BeingMommywithStyle and welcome back to my channel, or if you're here from the blog, thanks for joining us. I'm so glad you're here. So today we are talking one of my favorite subjects, and it is all about Disney today. We recently planned our next Disney vacation, and it is going to be in June of this year. This will be our second vacation in COVID times, and I wanted to share today some of my ultimate Disney planning tips that you can use to plan your Disney vacation. These are all applicable in 2021, and these are huge time savers to start thinking about what you should be planning ahead of time, what you need to plan whenever you make your reservation, and what you need to plan as time gets closer to when your date is for arriving. So first things first, I love just cruising through the Disney World website. I will put that in the description box down below. A lot of times I will go, and if we have date flexibility, I will just test out different offers and put in different dates to see when I can get the best price. That's actually what I did with our most recent trip. I just went to the Disney World website, I tried different dates, I found some dates that worked for us. It was a really great price with a special offer that we got a discount on a deluxe room, and so that is what made me decide to go to the dates that we did. Other times a year we've been locked in because we've been going during our spring break or our fall break, so we have set dates, and then you're kind of more locked into those days. So we've planned both types of vacations, but these tips will work for either type of vacation. So the first thing you have to do is decide who is in your party. So our family is my husband, myself, and my two kids. Right now, one of the kids is actually adult prices and the other child is kid prices. So going into it, I know that's what I can expect for park tickets, for dining reservations, and all of those sorts of things that we are a party of 4 for our upcoming trip. So after I decide, I know we are a party of 4, I start working on when the time of year we're gonna go is. Sometimes we know we wanna go for a spring break. Sometimes, like I said, we've gone for fall break. Other times we really wanted to be there during the holiday times to see the holiday decorations. For this upcoming trip, we wanted to do a trip that was really centered around the resort, and we could spend a lot of time relaxing at the resort, enjoying the pool, and we knew that we just wanted to have really a relaxing, laid-back vacation. And we wanted to wait until the kids were out of school, so that narrowed down our time frame a little bit there. It was going to be, late May or beyond. And so I knew I had kind of generally a month in there that I was looking at that we were pretty flexible on time, but that's when we wanted to go on our next trip. So I went to the Disney site, I put in our party numbers, I put in the time frame that I was looking at, and then just really looked at the different weeks for available rooms. And after you've narrowed down your time frame, then you can really start thinking about what resort you might want to stay at. So resort is really one of the big ways that we make every single trip feel very, very different. We've stayed at everywhere from Riviera Resort, one of the newest DVC resorts, to we recently just stayed at Pop Century, which is one of the value resorts. We've stayed at almost all of the moderates. We've stayed at a number of different types of resorts. Animal Kingdom Lodge is one of our favorites. On our next trip, we're staying at Beach Club Resort, and we really, really love resorts like Port Orleans Riverside. So you really can change your experience and the type of trip that you'll have based on where you'll stay. So some of our favorite resorts are Animal Kingdom Lodge. If you really like opening up your balcony and seeing the animals, we really love that. Beach Club, like I said, we picked that one because of the laid-back atmosphere, the amazingly huge pool, and then also just the closeness to being able to walk over to the boardwalk, walking over to Epcot, and some of those conveniences as well. If you're staying at a resort like Art of Animation or Pop Century, you might take into account your closeness to the Skyliner. It's really super convenient, and we enjoyed our stays at all of the resorts we've stayed at since we have been, and the Skyliner's been there. We've stayed at Pop Century most recently. We also stayed at Caribbean Beach and Riviera Resort on our stay just previous to that, and I can say that the Skyliner is really, really convenient. So when you're thinking about where you want to stay, you want to take price into account, because obviously the different tiers, value, moderate, and deluxe, will be at different price points. There'll be different availability depending on your time of year that you're going. But then you also want to think, are you going to be out of your room more often? If so, then maybe staying at a value or a smaller room size is not that big of a deal if you're planning on being in the theme parks the majority of the day, and that's what your trip is going to center around. For us, as our kids have gotten older, I've always had in my mind that we would start having more resort-oriented trips. And so for those trips where we want to spend more time at the resort, you of course could stay at a value. But for our next trip, I wanted to have a resort that had a lot of food options, a lot of things we could walk to, a really great pool, and a really comfortable laid-back atmosphere. And so because I knew those were the things that were most important to me on our next trip, I selected Beach Club. It's got a great beachy, laid-back vibe. The pool is amazing. It's one of the best pools on property, and it's really close to a lot of places where you can walk, like the Boardwalk and Epcot. So when you take all those things into account, I would really look at the site and spend some time looking at the different resorts that are available during your time frame. There's lots of great pictures of the rooms that are available. You can look at the room interiors, kind of get a feel for how big the room sizes are. And of course, there's always YouTube where you can check out room tours and see people that have actually stayed in them. We have stayed in a number of different rooms and have a ton of room tours. I will link a playlist down below where you can watch all of our Disney room tours here on YouTube. We've stayed in a lot of them, and I could say definitely moderates are one of our family's favorites because of the pull down extra bed. But we just saw the leak of the Polynesian rooms that were just recently beautifully redone, a gorgeous Polynesian theme with Moana accents, and those just skyrocketed way up to the top of my list of one of the next places we definitely need to stay. So after you know how big your party is going to be, the time of year that you want to go, and you started thinking about what resort you've narrowed it down to, you can really kind of select out what room you're going to stay in and then start making your reservation. So for rooms, there's a lot of different combinations that you can stay at, but in general, one of the big things you'll see at a lot of the resorts are a standard room, different types of views for those rooms, and sometimes you'll even see a preferred room. There's different things like club level that is not currently available that may be available in the future, and so that's kind of like its own video. But in general, standard versus preferred, generally preferred means that it's a little bit closer to the food and dining, a lot of times closer to the main pool, and it's a little bit more accessible. So if you don't mind a longer walk, sometimes standard rooms will have a little bit longer walk. They may be a little bit further distance from the main pool, maybe a little bit further distance from the main transportation. But in a whole, a lot of the resorts at Disney World are set up to be very user-friendly and to really accommodate your stay while you're there. So we've stayed in both standard rooms, preferred rooms. A lot of times, again, it goes back to what my goals for the trip are. I'd like to get rooms that are water view. I just, really enjoy that view. But some resorts like Riviera, regardless of whether you have the water view of the lake or the standard view that's facing towards the Epcot view, some resorts you can't go wrong. So I would look at all those different options, and that's one of the big ones that you'll see, and you can select your room down from there. It's really easy to book your reservation online at disneyworld.com, and we frequently just book our vacations straight on the website. You, of course, can work with a travel agent to do your booking. There's a ton of great ones out there, but I really enjoy the planning process. It's one of my favorite parts of the Disney vacation experience. So that's why I really get a lot of enjoyment of cruising through the website, putting together different vacations, really looking at different timings, and putting together our own package. We typically stay for around a week. I know some people might go in for a long weekend. Other people I know stay for 2 weeks. So that's going to be really down to your individual of how much time you have to spend for starters and how long you typically like to vacation. So after you book online, you can go through, select your resort, put your dates in there, select out what type of room you want, and you can confirm your reservation online. After you reserve the room, there's a $200 deposit that you put down, and then you can either pay off the whole thing at one time or make payments along. You just have to put your last payment in to have it fully paid off 30 days before you arrive at the resort, kind of that 30 days prior to your trip. And they really make it very easy and economical to book a trip 6 months or a year in advance if you want, and just drop into your account and make a payment every month. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. I've seen in a lot of Disney groups, people like getting Disney gift cards, putting money on a Disney gift card and then putting that onto their account. A handy tip there is if you're going to get discounts on gift cards because you've got them at Sam's Club or bought them at Target with a discount or wherever you've gotten them, put them all on one gift card. Go to disneygiftcard.com and consolidate them all onto one gift card before you put it onto your Disney trip. So that way, if anything happens that you need to access that gift card in the future, you're only looking for that one gift card where you've consolidated, a number of gift cards down into $500 or $1,000, and then drop that one gift card onto your vacation. Because if you had to rebook at any point, they may need that gift card. So also make sure that you hang on to those gift cards on any gift cards that you put onto your trip. A lot of cruisers learned this, unfortunately, after Disney Cruise Line was not able to run, and they had used like 20 gift cards to book their trips. And if it needs to get refunded, you need the cards, or there is a process that you can work it out, but it's just not quite as easy as if you would have consolidated it prior to putting that on your trip. So after you've got everything all selected out, it goes to your cart, you reserve it, you put your $200 deposit down or pay it off that day, however you want to pay, and it shows up then in your My Disney Experience account. I love seeing my forward plans, and it really helps me start thinking about where we want to go and what we're going to do while we're at Disney World. So there are a number of great restaurants. I'll talk a little bit about making dining reservations, but the very first thing that you want to know right when you're making a reservation is the park day reservation system. You need to make that right after making your resort and ticket reservation. Once you have those tickets in your account, you can immediately turn around and make those park day reservations. That's of course a little bit different if you're an annual pass holder, because you can reserve a couple of days at a time ahead of time, and so you probably already have that process down. You can do that even before you have those resort in your account. As soon as you get that in your account, and you can even do this if you've paid a $200 deposit, it's good to go. You have those tickets on your account. So typically for us, we'd buy 4 or 5 day tickets. So as soon as that's in your account and like your trip's booked, like so for us it's in June, I went ahead and you go to the park day reservation system. What this does is it reserves your day at the theme park on the day that you want to go there. I absolutely love this because this is how we normally plan, or I normally plan our trips anyways. So I will actually sit down with a calendar before I even book the trip. Say we're going to be there like Monday through Friday. And I'll say, Monday we're going to be in Animal Kingdom, Tuesday we're going to be at Hollywood Studios, Wednesday we're going to be at Epcot, Thursday we're going to be at Magic Kingdom, and maybe there's a break day in there somewhere. And I actually plan out my days, where we're going to be, and then I plan where we want to eat based on that. So you can do that when you're making a reservation, or even be thinking about it ahead of time and know what order you want to do the parks in. There's a ton of touring sites out there that will give you recommendations on what days will be the busiest, what parks to maybe not go to on certain days based on your dates. But I will say on a general note that the weekends are really busy because a lot of times you have more locals. Different times of year it'll be busier than others. During food and wine in the fall, it's really, really busy at Epcot in the fall at Disney because of Food and Wine Festival. But different times of year will have different visiting rates. And on a whole, weekends are going to be a busy time to go. Also, another day to go to Magic Kingdom that is sometimes very busy is Mondays. For whatever reason, a lot of times Mondays tend to be a busy day because people are doing their Magic Kingdom day right at the beginning of their trip or right at the end of their trip. And a lot of times it falls on a Monday. So sometimes you may see that on those touring calendars that Monday is a busy day for Magic Kingdom as well. So you want to put your park days in the order that you have them, and immediately after you have your reservation, reserve your park day in the park day reservation. So you can go to the calendar, it shows green if that park is available on that day, and you click through the system. It's very easy to use. You select your park and you make your reservation for the day. Now park hoppers have come back, and how you do that with the park reservation system is you still reserve your main park for the day. So say you were going to start your day in Hollywood Studios, but maybe you wanted to finish the day over in Magic Kingdom. You make your park reservation for the first park you're going to be in that day. So if I'm going to start the morning at Hollywood Studios, I would make my park day reservation at Hollywood Studios. Then after 3 p.m., you could go over to Magic Kingdom. If there's capacity available, then they let park hoppers in and you could go in, go eat dinner and do what you were planning on doing. So that's how the system currently is. I absolutely love the park day reservation, but like I said, this was how I normally planned anyways. We're normally kind of one park, one day people, and I always planned out way ahead of time what park we were going to be going to because I built our dining reservations around it. And so that just really worked well for me. But make sure you have that in mind right when you're making a reservation, so you can make your park day reservations right after reserving your trip. So one of my next favorite things to talk about is dining. So you guys know that we have tried a lot of Disney dining, and I'm super excited about our next upcoming trip because we actually sat down and figured out a whole touring plan where we are staying at a brand new resort that the whole family has not stayed at before. We are going to be eating at all new restaurants. We have new restaurants picked out for every single theme park, which, if you can believe it, as many times as our family has gone, we have not eaten at these restaurants. So I'm super excited because we're going to be eating at Yak and Yeti restaurant at Animal Kingdom. We're going to be eating at Sci-Fi Diner at Hollywood Studios. We're going to try Skipper Canteen at Magic Kingdom. And then at Epcot, we are going to eat probably, we're still kind of up in the air because there's a number of places at Epcot we haven't eaten, but probably in the Hacienda area in Mexico where you can sit and eat next to the boat ride. Oh, it's amazing in there. It looks like nighttime. It's like so romantic, but we're gonna try to eat there with the kids and we'll let you know how it goes. But I'm super excited because it's all new restaurants for us and some places we really wanted to try. The other place I really want to try, because we're going to be a beach club, is to go to Beaches and Cream Soda Shop, where they have amazing floats, amazing ice cream. I know the kids are going to love it, and so we're going to go there one day, and we'll need a reservation for that. So I love Disney dining. I have, gone on the dining website and looked for reservations quite a bit in the past, because if you are familiar with our videos, you know that we really love a great character meal, and we have done a number of those in the past. In fact, we've almost done every single character meal on Disney property, but those reservations can be quite hard to get. So I've had to learn a lot of tricks about reserving dining reservations to be able to get all of those. So the best thing to do is definitely, first of all, look early. Previously, the dining system was 180 days before your trip or the time you're going to be there, you reserved your dining. And that was even, you could reserve it even before you had a reservation. So a lot of times I'd reserve the dining and then like 2 months before, do our planning, like reserve things then, or whatever the time length would be. But you can reserve the dining actually beforehand. For now, current times in 2021, it's 60 days in length of stay for your resort package if you've gotten your tickets and your resort in your My Disney Experience. Go on 60 days plus length of stay. So ours, we're going in June, we'll reserve our dining in April, and you're gonna go on there and you can find your reservations. So there's a number of different ways that you can get to the dining reservations. I really like, if I know I want to eat at specific places, I just write a list of all the restaurants and I'm going to go right to that restaurant's page on the computer and I'm going to put in, so Skipper Canteen. If I know I want to eat there for dinner, I'm just going to go to Skipper Canteen, dinner, and find an available time that works for our planning. There's 2 different ways you can search for times. You can search by breakfast, lunch, dinner, or brunch for some of the restaurants. Or you can put in like 10 a.m. You want a time around 10 a.m. And really, depending on your purposes, will depend on which way will work easier for you to search. Now, if a restaurant is like really sold out or very hard to get, let's take Be Our Guest, for example. Be Our Guest has always been a very popular restaurant. Maybe you're gonna go right after the window opens up and for some reason, everyone at Magic Kingdom that day is eating at Be Our Guest and there's no reservations available. What do you do? So first thing there, my tip I would give is to check back regularly. I, as a YouTuber and stay-at-home mom previously, I had the ability to check on my phone about once a day. I would typically just check it around lunch, or I picked a random time of day, like a car line, sitting in car line. I would always check the Disney reservation system to get those hard to get reservations. Sometimes you get really lucky. I think I'm scored as Cinderella's Royal Table that way, and some harder to get, like, I can't even remember which ones they were, but they were definitely character dining, just by checking regularly. So sitting in car line, check the Disney reservation system, or just a specific time of day that works for you. Another tip would be, so say you've gotten down really close to your trip and those reservations have not popped up, don't lose hope. I would have the day in mind and around what time you want the reservation to be. And then about 2 weeks prior to your trip, what you'll see happen is, normally what happens about 2 weeks prior to the trip, you'll start to see reservations pop up and be available. And that's because people change their plans at the last minute. They're moving their own reservation schedule around. You know, maybe they decided, oh, we're going to take this day off and go to the pool that day, and they release all the reservations. Sometimes people are canceling their trips, something's come up. So start looking really heavily around 2 weeks before. And then even if it's like the day before, you're already in Florida and you're going to Magic Kingdom the next day, don't give up. People drop reservations all the time right at the last minute. They were tired, their feet hurt, someone doesn't feel well. They go in, they cancel the reservations, or they move their own times around and they release those times. So look first at the 60-day mark, then look next frequently throughout. If it still doesn't work, really start checking very heavily about 2 weeks before. And then if you still haven't found it, don't give up hope and look for those really last minute reservations that may get dropped. I have gotten basically 95% of the dining reservations that I have wanted to get just by using that method, and it really does work. The other thing I was going to share today is there are a number of differences right now in COVID times versus pre-COVID times. Of course, we're all adjusting to this new normal, and currently at the time that I'm making this video, we're not planning on really doing any fireworks or parades. Those are all still a little bit different. I had a whole video kind of talking about the character cavalcades. We love those. Absolutely love those. But I will say that there's still a number of special events that you can do, caring for giants, and there's just a number of really cool experiences on property. One that we're really interested in is potentially doing the horseback riding. So go through the Disney website and find those things that may be really fun to do on your off day, and have one in mind. So that way, if your plans change at the last minute, you know of the different tours that are available, the different special experiences. And of course, going to Disney, and there's so much to do and see, you can't all fit it in one trip. Sometimes you may just get ideas for the future as well. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing some of my best Disney tips. I will be sharing some more as we go forwards. I also wanted to share a little bit of magic mail in this video today. So I have been having a lot of fun finding great Etsy shops recently. And this is one that I found called Magic Alley Shop. And she had really cool ears, and I found her ears by searching mandala ears, or I was just like searching mandala Mickey. Oh my goodness, look how cute this is. And so I found these amazing 3D printed ears with the sparkly bow. This one is the Epcot one, and I absolutely love them. They are so light, they are comfortable. I will link the shop down below. This is not sponsored or anything, I just wanted to share. I'm enjoying sharing some of these Etsy shops that I found along the way, and before our trip, I'll do one big like Etsy haul showing you everything that we've gotten along the way in these individual videos that I filmed and shown. But these ears were the ones that I saw, and I just thought they were so cool and so different. Look at this. Look how cute those are. So I found these ears by searching Mickey Mandala one day, just randomly searching on Etsy, and I absolutely loved them. I absolutely loved them. I thought they were so unique and just so me. I love the colors, and I just thought they were really super cute. So I will link this shop, Magic Alley Shop, down below that I found on Etsy, and we'll have a video coming up where we will share all of our Etsy finds because I found so much cute stuff on Etsy for our upcoming trip. We'll also be sharing all of our packing, planning, all the tips along the way that we normally share, and of course be doing day in the lives while we're at Disney, sharing our experience. But I'm excited to bring you our trip. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.